Hey everyone, Temporal here, and for this game we are reviewing a Plat Mercy. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that helps me out quite a bit, and I really do appreciate it. Or if you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below, see what rates look like for coaching, see what sort of events we have coming up, all that good stuff. Right now we have a bit of a bronze challenge where we're going to send some bronze or somewhat recently former bronze against another content creator's team. So you should check out there. Those are the types of events you'll see. Okay, so here we are. Your support partner is set up as a BAP. That's fine. You've got Winston Zarya, and you've got double hit scan, so at least you've got some good DPS boost options here. Use the box.
Now, let's achieve our objectives.
It's not amazing that your Winston is choosing to do that. Huh. No. You have a BAP. I don't care about your Winston. Like, your BAP's not going to heal your Winston as much as he might heal a Reinhardt, but no, just boost your soldier. Your Winston was never in trouble. You get better camera control. So, you've sort of been, like, doing constant, ooh, which is, by the way, you've been peeking, when you were doing this, you were peeking way too often. Like, you weren't getting fresh, new information, and you're actually predictably going to be here. So, spamming shots right here wasn't, a bad idea from the opponent's standpoint. You want to check less frequent than this. Checking to get a little bit of your own information, checking to get a little bit of your own information is fine, but you shouldn't just be constantly going, ah. And there's also very little reason to be here behind your team unless this was a specific reaction to, hey, the Tracer's about to come in here, which, that's fine. It should have been, though. If that was going to be it, you'd potentially be going, hey, let me walk over here and then really be ready to bounce over to my McCree. Like, you can stay here if you want to be able to help your soldier fight the Tracer, but you're ready to go out to your McCree immediately if things go wrong.
Help me.
No. I don't care about your Winston. I don't know why you're looking at your Winston. No, I still don't. Things are too hot right here with this Tracer here for you to be worried about what your Winston is doing down here. You are much more worried about, I am standing in the open, there's a dive going on. Oh, look, there's a dive going on. There's a dive going on. You wanted to be pocketing your soldier and ready at the faintest whiff of, nope, this damage is actually on me, to go over to your McCree, who's now in a worse position for you. But this is not where you wanted to be. Hey, Game Buster. I don't have time for a 30-minute after this. I've got something lined up, though that something is probably only an hour, maybe a little over. So if you wanted to grab after that slot, I could do a 30. Genji and Tracer in 76's face means a dead 76. It does, but that doesn't mean that you couldn't have had a little bit of healing there to make him last a little bit longer, because there's more time for him to do stuff as long as you still get out. Close the angle, close the ankle. I'm surprised that we didn't grab our McCree there. I guess we just don't care about him. Like, your McCree's in way worse shape than your Zarya right now. And you could have grabbed your McCree with your beam and then rounded the corner. If he wanders too far, if you stay out of line of sight too long, totally fine. Then swap over to your Zarya. Later today works for you? Perfect. Okay. That was the right Guardian Angel right there. Going vertical doesn't help you. You actually liked it right here. Right here where you had the Winston bubble, you had this available to you when the Winston bubble fades. This was a good spot for you. Oh, look, your health regen is being suppressed because you didn't stay out of the D.Va's line of sight. Yeah, this height isn't just some magic best friend. I know you're thinking, oh, height means the Rhine can't swing at me. The Rhine isn't chasing you around nearly as hard as the D.Va, and the place I'm telling you to play, the Rhine wasn't a threat either because you can get this physical object in the way. Which Game Buster rule are you?
A clean bill of health. On my way. On my way. Helden sterben nicht. Right.
Fine. Yeah, so you didn't really look for it. You just kind of hoped that this would be safe. It wasn't. You didn't really know exactly where that self-destruct was, so
Starting
use your
over
eyeballs.
from the beginning.
Use your eyeballs.
Heute sehen wir. Powered up.
Okay. You should be on high ground. They should be on high ground. If they're not... Okay, good.
Objective lost.
They did give you a high ground. Angel target. Okay. I don't need you staring at him. It's very unlikely that anyone's going to jump you, but that Tracer went on a long flank last time, so I would like, maybe if not a constant stare over here, at least a check over here once every 3 to 5 seconds. Not the, like, constant, ooh, 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 that you were doing with the box on first, but like, okay, a check every 3 to 5 seconds. That would be better than just staring at your soldier. Staring at your soldier doesn't do much.
I'm taking care of
Cool. Interesting. Okay.
This is not your part.
That wasn't bad. Oh, rewound more than I meant to. That would do it. Here you are.
Objective lost. New defense point. Objective B.
Guardian's coming in. You do that. You decide not to Guardian Angel through him. He doesn't get got. He goes down. You then go for the Zarya, which I'm okay with. I actually like the super jump here. I'm surprised that you don't use this to Guardian Angel to your BAP here, though, on the next Guardian. So you go like this. You don't have Guardian yet. You're beaming that. I mean, you're just not going to get that res off. And then you get that res off.
This is
In
not
exchange
your
for your
part.
life. Yeah, in exchange for your life. I really would have preferred to Guardian Angel over to this BAP, to be perfectly honest. And then, like, so you beam your guy here, you Guardian Angel to your BAP, you re-beam him if you have to, and then if he's managed to stay alive and you've cleared a bit, you can go, okay, I'm going to go for this res. I don't like just throwing your life away for the res there, especially when you were 1% to Valk in the end. Jijibaited? BAP? Yeah. Okay.
Heroes never die.
Fine. Okay, where's your visor coming from? There.
Well done.
Great. Stop healing him. You've already won the fight. You healed a little too much. Keep damage boosting. Don't heal. Why is this so hard for you Mercies to understand? Okay. I haven't reviewed you before, so I'm not actually upset. But what you generally want to do after you've won a fight with Valk... Oh, my epic pen's gone. After you've won a fight with Valk, you want to go ahead and leave yourself some healing to do after the fight is over. Because Valk is a pretty cheap ult in terms of getting it. It doesn't actually take that much ult charge to get Valk. And if you can be like, hey, I'm going to leave my McCree at 70% health. I'm going to leave my Winston at 40% health. After you've cleaned it up to like now it's a 5v1, 5v2 scenario, as long as you make sure you don't actually lose any of the people, so as long as you're pretty quick to go over to, nope, I will stabilize you with this, if you try and go below this, I will stop it, I will heal, etc., you can do a pretty good job of leaving yourself like 10, 20, sometimes 25, but like 10 to 20% of your ult charge to just get back from the one fight. So I really prefer that you do that as opposed to healing people when they get, you know, oh, well, we're winning and this is cleanup, but let me just heal them for giggles because why not? Well, I've got this chain heal. No, 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 no. Don't do that. Save some healing for yourself. Don't let them get eliminated because then you lose all of the healing opportunity as well as space if you actually lose them in the one fight. But try to keep them in a threshold where you can be pretty confident that you're not going to lose them, but you're going to be able to heal them after. Triage is what we would call that, where you keep them in a health area where they shouldn't get one shot. You should have time to react to, then pour more healing into them if they take more damage, but they're not at full health. They're not super, super healthy. They're in a moderately stable, temporarily stable state is what you're really looking for. So that you save yourself ult charge for later. And if you don't get that ult charge later because your BAP just snipes the ult charge from you while you're waiting for your Valk 10, that's no big deal because at least he got the ult charge. It's better than you not getting anything for it in Valk. Your gold rank changing game. My gold winning game.
Let me get you patched up.
Has kind of been a tradition. Every role-changing game I got reviewed for fun. Oh, nice, nice. Every rank-changing game you got reviewed for fun. Nice.
You should be at peak performance levels.
Yeah, we saw that you got promoted. Good stuff. Good stuff, Game Buster.
I'm taking care of you.
Regen burst activated. We got one back.
Damage boost engaged.
Okay, so
Regen burst activated. We got one back.
Damage boost engaged.
okay. They're being annoying. They haven't really earned the right to be fighting here.
Let me get you patched up.
Oh boy. Sure, use the time.
We still need you. Helden sterben nicht.
Flip the map.
Damage increase.
No, it's soldier. Yeah, there you go. There's the soldier.
Your support has arrived.
Unfortunate. That's not on you. That's not to say you didn't make mistakes. Obviously, you had some poor target selection, especially on first when it came to your staff usage. You also aren't the most disciplined with where you're looking, where you're spending your camera in terms of checking versus just staring at your soldier. Neither of those were really good. But that team fight there was not a big deal.
This time,
Ready for battle.
we do not fail.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Maybe Mercy like
Keep the skies
76.
clear for me. You should be at peak performance
I mean,
levels.
boosting 76 was fine there. I actually didn't like when she swapped off and boosted the Winston who wasn't zapping anyone for a second. 76 had a good clear sight line on the way back to the point. That said, you know, when sprint's active, he can't shoot anyway, so pick your poison.
Stay here.
Okay,
Ich kümmere mich um dich.
good. And find your fair again.
Ich kümmere mich um
Cool.
dich.
What are you looking at? I don't need you looking over here. I don't need you looking over here. I want you already looking for where's my Pharah, because I'm going to want to reacquire my Pharah as soon as I'm convinced that Doomfist has won this fight. Which, by the way, Doomfist has won this fight. Doomfist is full... Oh, excuse me. Doomfist is half health. Your Winston's here. Genji's leaving. Like, you can get him up another 30 health or so if you want. Half a second of healing, but you should already be looking for your Pharah to get back to her pretty soon. Now, if your Pharah's going to be here, you wouldn't actually Guardian Angel back to your Pharah, but you'd look for your Pharah, because if your Pharah's still here, you would Guardian Angel to your Pharah right now. Your Doomfist has won this. Because your Pharah's here, you can keep healing your Doomfist because there's nothing better to do. You could also damage boost him, or the Winston, the Winston, the Winston, the Winston, yeah. Where's your Pharah? Oh, over there. And you haven't managed to go with her.
How does it hurt?
I am disappointed. Oh, your Pharah's still low.
Well done.
You can go for that. It's not amazing, but the Winston bubble's there. You can justify that. Yeah. A little more healing than you did there. You could have swapped over to weave in damage while your Doomfist was safe in the air.
I will not waste this opportunity.
I'm on fire.
Damage increase.
Team 2 is already playing Overwatch 2.
Objective A captured.
I'm taking care of
New
you.
defense point.
Maybe a weird
Objective B.
suggestion, but can I have 2 rules reviewed for 30 minutes in a single 60-minute slot? I mean, you can, Game Buster, but as you've probably noticed on my 30-minute reviews, I tend to go longer than 30 minutes, so you're either going to have to ask me to pick up the pace so that I do that, or you're going to have to ask me to just stop, when I get 30 minutes through, even if we're only 3/4 of the way through or something like that on a hero and move to the next one. If you played them both 2 different roles in the same game, well, no, you can't really do that anymore. So yeah, that would be my answer there. I'm happy to do it, but you're gonna have to tell me what you want because I'm not gonna do like a hour and a half review in an hour session to cover 2 different roles there. I think I'm already generous enough with how I do the 30-minute things. I don't want to turn a 60 into, yeah, you get it.
Clearing the area.
As go.
I need healing. Thank you. Your support has arrived. You needed a doctor?
Hmm.
I require healing. I need healing. Where does it hurt? Heroes never die.
Cool. Damage boost. Fine. I hope you told them where they were coming from.
Performance level.
You need to swap this beam. I don't understand why you have this beam on this here instead of moving it over to your BAP to try to encourage it to tether to the Winston. You should get over to your Lucio regardless for getting their Lucio, but I would like to have beam on your Winston right now. Or I would like to encourage beam. Not to the exclusion of all else, but I would like to encourage beam on your Winston, which you didn't. Again, Jebaited will give you an arc. Okay, we can heal the Winston. Like, that's reasonable right now.
Rocket barrage incoming.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, you hit your head. I think we found the title, Blah. I think we found the title. Don't hit your head on platforms. Plat Mercy. No, I'm kidding. I wonder if that's going to turn this fight.
Let them up.
Is that going to be enough to let them get back in? Because that's going to be really unfortunate if it
I
is.
must go where I'm needed. Greetings.
Oh, thank goodness. Oh.
Hello.
Complete.
Why this Valk was okay? It probably wasn't. Let me go back and look. I was probably distracted talking to you, Game Buster, and thinking about, hey, do I want to do 2 30s and a 60?
Where does it
Which I'm not strictly opposed to doing 2 30s and a 60, but you're going to have to keep me on pace, or you're going to have to tell me ahead of time that you're
Your
okay
support has
if I
arrived.
stop after doing your attack or doing your defense or whatever to move on to the other one. So let's take a look at this.
I need healing. Thank you.
This is fine.
Has arrived. You needed a doctor? I require healing.
Oh, you're asking why a Valk's okay? Because this is going to be a Valk as soon as they have it.
I need healing. Where does it hurt? Heroes never die.
Yeah, this Valk, it's not amazing, but this Valk is fine, and the reason it's fine, like, it's not great with only Reinhardt on the board. I wouldn't have Valked this. I'd have said, hey, let's Valk the respawn wave, because I'm worried that too much is going to get caught here. But you're trying to accelerate the wiping of them, and you need to accelerate the wiping of them, and Valk lasts a fair amount of time. I don't need us to Valk in an even fight here. I'm happy to Valk in a fight that we're ahead in, because I need to accelerate our win speed on this point. Like, I need to go, oh, hey, let's actually win. Let's actually do this. The Valkup's sustain will let me get everyone topped off between the waves here, and will help us wipe out this wave so that we can actually get our progress. This is fine. There's no problem with this. This Valk? No. Like, yes, I would prefer that we either more thoroughly actually get into the fight with this Tracer. I would prefer that we're more thoroughly in this fight with this Tracer, like this Tracer is more exhausted or the people are back, but this isn't significantly bothering me. Like, it's not a 10 out of 10 Valk, but this is a clean up the point Valk, and there were 2 people alive from the opposing team when she popped it, and it's going to last her into the next wave of respawns as well. It's not terrible. Right, it's still doing work. Should this probably have been the beginning of the Valk right here? Yeah, it should have. This should have been the beginning of the Valk. On the other hand, they would have cleared the last 2 there, especially the Tracer a little slower without the Valk.
Performance level. Rocket launch incoming.
Let them out.
How weird is it that, like, a breakout successful video game was about a plumber that goes into the pipes, the sewers, and finds mushrooms?
Hello.
It's a little funny to think about.
Score 2-2. Switching sides. Initiating match.
Okay, sounds good, Game Buster. Like I said, I do have an hour session after this one, but after that, I will ping you, make sure you're there, and then we'll do it.
Hello.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Ich bin da. Damage increase. I will not waste this opportunity. Greetings.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers in
Damage boost engaged.
Defend objective.
Game lures were not that intricate back then? Yeah, no, I know game lures weren't that intricate back then, and that's fine. It's just, that's a funny thing to have one of the first breakout success games about. Like, it's not the first breakout success game, but, you know, that moved a lot of Nintendos. And, you know, it's about, you know, in theory, it's about someone going and rescuing a princess from a dinosaur place thing, etc. But, like, yes, let's make the theme of our game plumber goes into the sewers and the pipes, finds mushrooms. You know, like, what, really? That's what our game is about? A plumber doing shrooms? Okay. And finding shrooms and using them? Finding shrooms in the sewers and using them? Okay.
You needed a doctor.
Well, I think that made sense. A game about a plumber rescuing a princess. I mean, that's kind of an old the plumber doing it isn't the old trope, but that's sort of an old trope that we've seen of, you know, some commoner everyday man, etc. In this case, a plumber. Usually it would be more standard. Usually in stories you'd see it be something else, but the point is an everyman type character going and rescuing royalty, etc. I mean, that's a story as old as time. So that wasn't weird. It was hey, we're doing shrooms in the sewers that was weird.
This will be over.
Could have been.
Thanks for the assist. Your support has arrived.
Okay, so I should actually review this game rather than review Mario. Okay. Especially because, like, if I'm gonna review Mario, I can just go review the Mario on the Northeastern team. Like, this seems like the wrong place to be having this discussion.
Your support
Okay.
has arrived.
So you're here. You're going to immediately go to pocket him. You can't decide whether you want to be in the lamp or not. You're drifting away, which I am going to say is the right thing, but then you came over here. I understand why you came over here. Obviously, it's a mistake. And you miss that. So, as we're really going through here, so be it. This is fine. You see the Winston, and you decide to use the Winston. No, you decide to use the Farah. And really where you want to go from here, because this diva just used boosters, she committed boosters, and Reaper just dropped, is this is now your safe spot. You just want to stand up here and kindly put your beam on whoever you want from up here, while having the box give you cover from behind against the rest of these guys. That is your best place right now. Stabilizing the Winston is correct. I see that, but you have to stop short here. You have to stop short here. You know that there's danger. You stop short and try to scooch yourself over into here is what you've got to do. You got it. You can't go here. You know that this is a direction that more opponents are coming from. I mean, they can see the chat. The chats don't always show up immediately on the live stream, but usually after some number of hours, the chats will show up. I have it set that way so the chats are viewable if you go back and revisit a video. If you do so in the first couple hours, they might not be, but that's just how YouTube processes.
60 seconds remaining.
Yeah, so a little bit of a positioning mistake got you there.
Barrier in place.
Do you need a doctor?
Okay,
Well done.
your fair's there.
Objective B.
Damage increased.
Too far. Why? Why would you go out that far? I don't want to go out here. Totally fine activating Guardian Angel to get this close to her, to beam her. I have no desire to follow her out here because opponents are coming from here. It's scary. It's scary. I don't know if these opponents are a little closer. I'm perfectly happy to stop short here. Perfectly happy. And you overboost. Oh well.
60 seconds.
Ends up being fine. Still don't like it.
Healing stream engaged.
Look up. Look up. This is not a good place for you to stand. Oh, that Pharaoh? Okay, I can live with that. You're trying to find a way to her. You could still Valk this. It's 5v6. And they Valked. You have to Valk this.
Damage first. Heroes
Good.
never die.
Get in here.
Do you need a doctor?
Mm-hmm.
This is not the end.
30 seconds remaining.
Damage increased. Don't let up on them.
Staring at your pair a little long there. Swap to the Sigma, yep. You doomed. Still on heals too long there.
Where does it hurt?
You know that the Genji's here, you know that the Reaper's there. You haven't pressed the button yet, so technically your right option at this point was to try to drop this way, but you were pretty doomed here.
10 seconds.
She danced for you, Temporal? Good, good. I'm glad that she danced for my amusement. Recognizes her place in the world. No, I'm kidding.
Overtime.
Okay.
Right beside you.
Please get back on high ground. Please.
Let's get you back out there.
I don't need to heal Icy here. I need to heal Deadly Feet. Good. Check. And you just get out of here. These two are going to dive you. You want to Guardian Angel right past this. These two are going to dive you. Fine.
Heroes never die. Don't stop now. I'm on fire.
Okay.
Ready for battle. Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Okay, what do we have? Can I use one of my sessions to review my Mario playthrough? I want a temporal Mario Maker stream. Not really my specialty. Temporal designing a map? Okay, okay. And reviewing other maps. I mean, I did just review, sort of, the Monte Carlo Overwatch 2. That was sort of a map review, sort of a player review. More of a player review. We didn't see enough of the map. But I was happy with I was really happy with the one flanking route we saw on the hill.
Damage amplified.
This will protect us.
Okay. Fine. Why are you in front of your team? Why are you even trying? This is like, no. So, here you are. I get what you wanted. You were thinking, hey, am I going to go in with my Winston? You decide that no, you're not going to go in your Winston. Maybe because you saw the Diva turn around. And I'm okay with this, but I'm not sure why you're walking forward. This looks pretty over. Like, you've lost your Pharah. Maybe you're thinking I can still turn this if I get the Pharah res. You should not expect to get the Pharah res in this situation. You're now totally in front of your team. You Winston just got eliminated, but even if he wasn't, this wouldn't be a good spot. There's just no reason to be here, and there's no reason to have believed that there was ever going to be a chance to get this res off, even with that bubble. So even if you were coordinating to try to get the bubble, there's just not enough reason to believe that was going to work.
Your support has arrived.
My turn.
Leave, leave. It's fine. You can easily protect the Pharah.
You should be at peak performance level. You got this. Let's get you that outfit.
I'd have liked you to stop a little bit shorter there.
We still need you. You needed a doctor? I'm taking the objective. Heroes never die.
I don't know why you wanted this.
Heroes
So, like, here
never
you
die.
are.
Right beside you.
This might be the game. Like, you popping this Valk when you're down one, when they're in reaction to them popping Blade while you're down one, this might be the game losing move right here for you. I mean, everyone has their own independent game losing moves in some ways, but I look at this and go, how do you think this is going to work? You already used your res, so you're not going to get another one. Winston's not here. Your Pharah's not in great shape and is going to be almost impossible to save even if the Blade wasn't happening right now. Blade is happening. This is like when you're Mercy and you're thinking about attacking a point in an extra round, I won't say your biggest concern, but you're thinking hard about how do I get Valk before other people have ults, or how do I find a team fight where I can be very, very sure that Valk can convert into winning the point. That's what you're generally thinking when you're low on time, attacking a point in an extra time round. So this would be it encourages ult tracking. This would be when do they not have ults that are going to win it for them, or when can we consolidate enough of an advantage that I am pretty darn sure that my Valk is going to win. My Valk is like 70% sure going to win the point for us if I pop it, etc. I do not want to pop my Valk. I do not want to pop my Valk to try to buy my way back into a fight when it's a short time clock, but I still have enough time for another, even multiple other attacks here. Like, this really hurts quite a bit. This hurts quite a bit. Oh well. And now they're going to have a Valk to defend with. You're not going to win this fight. Oof. Yeah. And you really just baited your team into sort of trying to stay with that push a little bit, come back in a little bit past the choke in the first place because you had Valk going. So that took more time. That didn't just lose you your Valk, it also took a fair amount of time off your clock.
Back in the
Hi,
fight.
I wanted
My
to catch
ultimate
Pharah
is
there,
charged.
so I Valked to get high ground. Okay, but if we go back to when you actually Valked, like...
Heroes never die.
Okay, here we go.
I'm taking the objective.
There's Pharah.
Right beside you.
Pharah's gone. Pharah's already gone. I can promise you that Pharah's gone. Like, even if you Valk can go over, even if you Valk can go over, you're going to lose that Pharah. Most of the time. With Blade, you're going to lose that Pharah every time. If you Valk can go over, maybe there's like a 50% chance if Blade wasn't coming out, but honestly, even that is pretty... These guys would have to miss a lot of shots. And this is a Plat game, and you've got... I mean, you don't know this perfectly. You don't know that these two are here, but you've got at least two people right here that you do know about with your Pharah. When your Pharah's at 40 health or whatever, like this Pharah's gone. I understand why you want it, but you generally do not want to be treating Valk as a recovery ult to try to buy back into fights. You use Valk to go up. You use Valk to go, hey, I'm going to make this a 7v6. You know, the chain value of my beam is going to be worth an extra person in essence. Or I'm going to go up to 6v5 or whatever the case may be. You generally don't want to try to use Valk to, hey, let's try to get back into this fight. Let's try to make this okay. And this, you're going to lose this Pharah. You're down your Winston. Yeah, they're down their Pharah, but like, this isn't great considering, hey, I'm going to lose my Pharah. My team is not here. Like, some of the others might be alive, but they're not here. And I know that they're not here because I've been tracking the fight. So, like, this is... And you end up seeing how it plays out, where you just sort of sit there and pocket icy, and because you're Valking, the rest of your team is encouraged in a fight that they probably would have wrote off after you lose your Pharah to keep huddling back in here and then to get stuck in here. Like, I understand, yes, you want to save them, you're a support, you think about healing people, but you really don't want to invest your Valk in fights where you're behind very often. Will you sometimes on second point defense type situations? Absolutely. Are there times when throwing a Valk into a grab will save people? Yes. Are there times when, hey, the time that this works out, it looks great, etc.? Yeah, but when you look at your expected return versus how often it's going to go wrong, this is rarely going to be worth it. It's rarely in general going to be worth it to Valk into a fight where you are behind like this. Half my decisions in this game so bad. They're alright. I mean, I could certainly be more critical of some of them than I am being, but yeah.
Behind you. Move back. Damage increase. Nerf this. Get to cover.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the fight. My ultimate is charging.
Vide mal suyo!
Personne n'échappe.
Okay. That's eyes.
Damage increase.
Thanks for reviewing. I will go a couple of minutes, but I will rewatch later. Very grateful for your time, your words, your thoughts. All of this will help me greatly. No problem. No problem. Hope you can get value out of it. So many mercies get Valk wrong. I want a advanced guide on Valk. It's not that hard. Like, I don't know that an advanced guide on Valk makes sense, and I already did the Mercy mini guide covering Valk conceptually, and Valk is mostly a conceptual ult. Like, there's not a ton of, yes, we could get into an advanced guide with some micro in Valk, with some, okay, exactly when can you go challenge this, exactly when can you go do this, but mostly Valk is a fixture. Valk is like, more complicated than Sonic Arrow maybe, but not much more complicated than Sonic Arrow. Where once you understand it properly, it's not that hard to execute, and it's not really that hard to recognize the situations where it should and shouldn't be used. We just have a desire to save people as support players, and it's a, oh, let me, and you sort of override knowing better is what happens.
I am empowered.
Yeah, if you have any questions, you should definitely ask now. While we're live here. Okay, so let's get back. Mm-hmm. You angle yourself in. That's a little dicey. The Widow's down, but good. Tuck right, tuck right. Why are you in the open? Why are you in the open? Are you gonna look? Are you gonna look at the diva, or just assume she won't see you? Okay. Nope. Those. That's a word. There we go. This is not a place to be. Please change your angle.
You should be at peak performance. You've got this. Damage boost engaged.
Fine.
Ich kümmere mich dich.
Okay. And now you have Valk to win second point with. This is
30
great.
seconds remaining. Objective A captured. New defense point. Objective
Okay.
B.
The battle continues. Damage
Oh no.
amplified.
Don't you dare, Winston.
My ultimate is ready. Heroes never die.
No. No. Okay, we're working on your Valks. I suppose we should have known that we were working on your Valks from the Valk that we saw in second point attack in the first round that was early. You know, I mean, it was. I was trying to give you some room with it because, hey, there was enough justification for it, just barely. But I was too kind because now we're seeing more problematic Valks. I shouldn't use that word. Now we are seeing more early Valks. So what we're looking at here is this Valk. I understand you feel under pressure, and you feel under pressure because your Pharah is going in aggressively, and your Winston is still low on health. Like, this is a communication breakdown. That's what this is. If your Pharah understood how weak your Winston was and how not ready your team was, she wouldn't be in. And you're doing this to be like, well, we're sort of going in, I better do this. The problems that we run into is this Valk isn't happening when your team is in, like in brawling, nor is this Valk happening when your team has set up like a strong angle here, a strong, come on mouse, stop fighting me. A strong angle here, a strong angle here. Wow, my mouse is just not gonna work. Oh, it's because I have the wrong mouse plugged in right now. So, strong angle, nope, can't do it. It's just not happening. 1 second. There we go. Okay, so like if your team was in and you pop Valk, you know that's going to get value. If your team has good, strong angle control, like maybe this, and then someone over here or something, and you pop Valk, yes, that's the real fight. It might not look like a brawl, it might not look like a dive, but that's the real fight if you established good, strong angle control. This isn't that. Your Fair is the only one with a serious angle. Your Diva or your Doomfist is still staging. Your tanks aren't even in the fight yet, and your BAP is out here. This is an early Valk. This is a Valk that is going to help you rotate, but honestly, this is even pre-rotation. Like, only these two are really even in the rotation phase. The rotation through neutral contested territory. This territory is mostly just belongs to your team, so I'm not even counting this as rotation because this is safe territory by and large at this point in the game. So like this is Valking before your team is even in the somewhat dangerous rotation stage. And we don't like using ults generally to rotate. We like using ults when the battle is actually happening, whether that's a brawl, a dive, or, you know, very strong poke angles and hey, the battle is actually happening. Like, that's what we like to do. We don't want to be using ults to make the rotation easier for us. We want clean execution to get us in there, because otherwise, if we use ults to make the rotation happen, to assist us in the rotation, they will back off. We'll get there, our ult will end, and then they'll come in with our own ults and we'll lose. Or even if us using the ults forces them to use cooldowns, they'll back off, and then they'll come back on with their own cooldowns, their own ults, etc. We're not really a fan of that. So we want to use it once our team is actually in an effective position. We don't want to be trying to use this to help us get in as much as we can avoid it. Can we use it in the last bit of our rotation? Sure, you can. Valk lasts decently long. And Valk gives you strong poke as a team. So like using it in the last, since the poke phase is the rotation phase in a lot of ways, using it in the later part of the rotation, the later part of the poke phase can make sense. But I'm talking, right before a couple seconds, like just a couple seconds before your poke converts to the real fight, the real brawl, etc., the finish it off type stage, etc., or if you have very, very strong angles. So that's what we're looking to do with our Valks. This Valk simply isn't that. Like, it's simply not. Your team is not ready. You have two people you have one person that's sort of in, and one person that is thinking about maybe I'll hit a rollout soon, but I can't because I don't have my cooldowns back. No. And you might think, no, the fight is real because, like the Widow elimination is still here. No, she's already back. Like, this is not a real fight. Not yet. Okay. This is going to be a mess of a fight. Please heal her. Don't damage boost her. She doesn't need the damage boost, I promise. In general, you want to heal, not damage boost barrages, and the reason for that is there's a lot of travel time on the missiles that she fires, but they also do a ton of damage. So the difference between damage boost doesn't actually make her eliminate targets 30% faster because her missiles travel relatively slow. So when she ults, here's our Pharah, and she sends down her shower of missiles. What happens is this missile starts here, then it goes to here, then it goes to here. Like, this is the missile traveling over time, and what ends up happening is when the first missile gets there, it's going to do damage. It's not enough to eliminate them, but it's going to do damage. By the time the first missile gets there, it's going to take, a fair amount of time, but as soon as it gets there, the second missile is right behind it. The third missile is right behind it. The fourth missile is right behind it. Like, it does not take very much time at all to get from the first missile hurting someone to the second or the third or even the fourth missile hurting someone. It does take a fair amount of time to get from I started the ult to my first missile got to them. You're not helping that 0 time. Your damage boost isn't making the missiles go faster. It's not. It's not making them get there faster. So you damage boosting for 30% more damage might be the fourth missile instead of the fifth missile gets the elimination. But there's such a small time delay between the fourth and the fifth missile that it's just not worth it compared to the sustain of my Pharah is rooted and can't move. I'm going to give them, at this point, 60 health per second because I'm in Valk. Like, that's worth, or I was in Valk, that's worth more by far than trying to damage boost it because of how Barrage does damage, because of the travel time. If Barrage didn't have that travel time, damage boost could be great for it, but it has a really slow travel time. Okay. I watched the mini guide 5 times, must be dumb. Okay, I can get into it more for you. Even if it's here's 5 questions. Yep. I really struggle against this team comp run by Team 1 as a DPS. Any ideas on what heroes would be good against it? This one right now? What heroes would be good against this? McCree. McCree would be fine against this. You partially check Doomfist. You partially check Pharah. You really struggle as a DPS, you said? Tell me what role you play, Lion, because I look at this and go, this McCree's not going to be bad against the Winston. Yeah, McCree's not bad against any of this and has got a pretty good matchup against these two. That's the obvious one. Echo is also going to be fine. Doomfist isn't happy when he can't get above targets, and Echo beats Pharah in the skies. She's got more precise mobility and a smaller hitbox, and more precise damage too. Like, she's kind of Pharah's, like, that she exists is an affront to Pharah. Those would probably be 2 things that immediately come to mind. Tracer would also be good against this. Again, can go around, chip down Doomfist, will never get caught by Doomfist, mostly doesn't have to interact with Pharah. All of these would be solid picks into this. Doomfare combo. Yeah, but in what role, Lion? In what role? Are you saying when you're the DPS, or do you need me to tell you when you're in a different role what to play? Because I just gave 2 great DPS options and 1 fine DPS option. Sombra, probably a little worse than Tracer for this. You're going to interact. You have more threat to the fair. Sombra's good if you're running a brawl comp. Like adding Sombra to a brawl comp will make these 2 unhappy. Sombra in general, I wouldn't necessarily recommend. I mean, she's fine. She's not bad, but it's similar to Tracer there. Sounds good. See ya. Okay. Back to our review.
There comes the Scottish brother.
30 seconds.
Enemy arriving. Pick up the pace. We can do this.
Okay, go play with your Winston bubble. And it's over.
Should be at peak performance.
10 seconds remaining.
Oh, okay. Then I gave you the answer line. And that's the end. Okay. So, the biggest thing for you to work on as a player is going to be your Valks. If you upgrade your Valks, that will help you. We saw a somewhat questionable Valk on your second point attack. We definitely saw a questionable Valk on your first point attack. We definitely saw a questionable Valk on your second point attack. So that's in total going to give us 3, 2.5 Valks that we probably would want back and we would have wanted to drive better. And when it comes to Mercy, you've got to squeeze every little bit out of her kit that you can. And that's just not going to work. So that's going to be your biggest room for improvement. Remember, when you're using Valk, you want a Valk into even fights to go ahead, and you want a Valk as the fight is committed to its actual fight stage or just before. You don't want a Valk to try to go like, oh, let me go quickly catch up to get into the fight. You don't want a Valk to be like, oh, I'm Valking to help my team rotate into the fight, and 5 seconds of my Valk are going to be used during the team rotating. You want a Valk when the fight is happening. But remember, that doesn't strictly mean my team is all on the fight brawling, though it can. It can also mean, hey, my Ashe and my Hanzo are set up here, or my Ashe is set up here, and my Sigma's here, whatever. Like, if your team is aggressively set up as a poke team, this can be enough of the fight for you to justify Valking, as long as the other team hasn't, taken good defensive positions, etc. But when your team is going to be able to get some real work done and not rotate out of it, not kite it, that's when you're looking to make your Valk happen. And you had some questionable ones. And if you upgrade those, Mercy gets a lot done with Valk. Mercy is pretty actually good at breaking stalls, breaking, hey, my team can't get in, my team can't get anything done. She's pretty good at that. So that would be the single biggest thing for you to work on, improving your Valk timing, making sure it's when the fight is actually happening, but not when you're already behind in the fight. And you didn't really have a when you're behind in the fight issue by and large, though that one to try and save Pharaoh was. You had more of the 2 were, hey, you're popping this a little early, what are you doing, type thing. So that's where we'd go there. That is where we would go with you for your biggest thing. You then have some stuff where some of your movement becomes, hey, please be a little more aware of the cover that you go to. When you're doing some of these Guardian Angels in to help people, please be a little more aware of, hey, I'm not going to Guardian Angel to here. I'm going to stop short and go here. Hey, I'm not going to Guardian Angel tout here. I'm going to Guardian Angel, stop short, and hang here. Like, you have more room for some being aware of where cover is. Like, oh, I'm going to stop short and be in cover. I'm going to stop short and be in cover type thing. I'm going to stop short and be in cover. You do that sometimes. You absolutely do that sometimes, but you have more room to do that. I'm not going to go up here. I'm going to chill here with my Winston bubble and this. You have more room to upgrade on that to increase your survivability. And those are the 2 things that I would want you to work on. But Valk is definitely the bigger one. Work on those 2 things one at a time with like 5 to 15% of your brain power really being thinking about making improvement on the specific thing you're working on. Again, start with Valk and do that for 5 games, 15 games, 30 games. Really depends on how long it takes you to sort of force it into your system to make it part of your autopilot that's how you are going to play the game. And then once you've got it into your system, once it's there, once it's, hey, this is how I play the game now, even when I'm not thinking about it, then you move on to the next thing, which would be your cover, etc. Okay, I've only got a couple minutes, but if people have questions, go ahead and throw them up in chat now. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that helps out quite a bit, and I really do appreciate it. Or if you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below, see what rates look like, see what sort of promos, special events we have going on, all that good stuff. Okay. Hey y'all. Oh, do I have a random soldier question for you if you're open? I'm a little short on time, but you can try and throw it up, Zara. If not, I'm happy to answer it later. Okay. Question: is it okay to do low impact damage boost just to give the target more ult charge? If we wanted to, yes, it is. Widow Kree versus anyone on Team 1? Yeah, Widow Kree would have worked fine. Uh, If that's a good Zarya, Sombra will be useless with her hacks interrupted by. You don't just count on. So that's a misconception. You don't just use Sombra. You can use Sombra as a budget tracer too. You'll notice Sombra was not the first place I went. You can use Sombra's budget tracer ability to go, hey, Doomfist does not like getting chipped down. He does not like getting chipped down before the fight happens, and you can absolutely chip him down. Like, Zarya can bubble him during the dive, but Sombra can go find him early and be like, no, you're not allowed to have health. You're not allowed to have health. You're not allowed to have health. And Fair's never going to get bubbles to protect her from the hacks. Those are either going to be very good reaction bubbles to block hacks, and it's just not going to happen very often. And again, I really only am a huge fan of the hacking the Fair when Sombra's playing with a Brawl team that then wants to run over the Pharah, or the Fair drops and can't contribute while the Brawl team runs over a Winston, a Zarya, etc. What do you think Soldier's effective range is? I obviously know he can hit people across the map, but he probably isn't going to eliminate people across the map. Medium range. He's a medium range hit scan. He is not so like Soldier. The angles aren't right, but Soldier from here is not going to be terribly effective at shooting someone over here. He's not. On the other hand, he's perfectly fine from here shooting at someone over here. Even in, like that's how you want to think about him. So like he might do his chip damage. He'd really be playing more like here. He might do his chip damage on the choke, but he's not really necessarily expecting to get his eliminations. He's expecting to get his eliminations here. He's still going to put pressure on them, soften them up, get the resources out of them, unless there's something that can poke back harder. But he's really going more of a, hey, I'm here, and I poke like that. He is a medium range hit scan. He is not Widow. He is not Ashe. He is less effective than them at those extreme ranges. He's really just a less effective hero than them. But hey, more flexibility. Okay. Ask Fast asked, did you ever submit a video for review blah? Not yet. It'll happen one of these days. Okay, I'm going to have to go ahead and call it there. That's going to do it. Thanks, guys. Temporal out.